Hi, so I wanted to work with you a little bit about how to do this lab on eccentricity. You'll notice on the board I have points A1 through A4 and B1 through B4. And these are going to be the points that represent our foci. So I'm going to put this video into two parts. The first part is constructing, and then the second part will be measuring. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pin as one of the foci into A1 and a pin into one of the foci as B1. So this is going to be our ellipse number 1. I'm going to grab my string and I'm going to wrap it around my foci pins. And with a colored pencil, I'm going to construct an orbit by just pulling the string as tight as I can around the base of the pins. And you can see that I'm able to construct an orbit. Okay, and it comes all the way back around again. And you'll see this orbit. And I'm going to label this orbit number 1. Okay. Now, actually, I'm going to do the measurements right now. So the distance between the foci of orbit number 1 is, you can see, is 3 centimeters. And the length of the major axis, if I go from one side all the way to the other, okay, I'm going to line this up, you can see is, let me just get lined up just so, is about 18.6. 18.6 is the length of the major axis. Okay, so that is ellipse number 1. Now, ellipse number 2. I'm going to put my pin into A2. Again, I apologize, I'm doing this one-handed. My pin into B2. And I'm going to take my string and I'm going to use a different color now. And just like before, I'm going to make the string as tight as I can without pulling too hard. And I am going to construct an ellipse. And this is going to be ellipse number 2. All right, and I'm going to label that ellipse number 2. I'm going to take out the pins, and then I'm going to do the measurements for ellipse number 2. From A2 to B2, the distance is 5.0 centimeters. Measuring the length of the major axis, as I read straight down on this, I'm pretty satisfied that the length of the major axis is, we're going to go with 16, let's go with 17.0. We'll keep it nice and direct on that one. Okay, now we're going to do ellipse number 3. So we're going to put the pin into A3, B3, like we did before. And I'm going to pick another color. I'm going to take the same string, wrap it around the base of the pins, pull the string as tight as I can, and I'm going to construct an ellipse. And this is the ellipse for the B3 position. I'm going to label this number 3. Okay, remove the pins, and then I'm going to do my measure. A3, B3. When I lay the ruler down at A3, goes to B3, and the measurement is 7.0 centimeters. Now the length of the major axis, I'm going to line up with that green, which is my third ellipse orbit, and I'm going to line it up with the green over here, and then on this side, the measurement, I would say, is 14.9 centimeters. 14.9 centimeters. Okay, and now for the last one. We're going to put our pin into the A4, B4 position. We're going to take our string, wrap it around, okay, and I'm going to grab another color. I'm going to pull the string as tight as I can without pulling those pins out, and I'm going to construct an ellipse. And hopefully by now you're seeing what's happening to the ellipse as those pins get further apart, okay? Look at the first one where the pins were fairly close together and it looks kind of circular. But as those pins got further apart, look at how more oval shaped it is. This is orbit number 4. Okay. And let's go to measuring. So we're going to lay the ruler down between A4, B4, and you'll notice that A4 to B4, that's a 9.0 centimeter. And now I'm going to line it up. That's my distance between the foci, 9.0 centimeters. I'm going to line it up here on this side. And then I'm going to come over to this side. And it ends up being, ooh, got lucky there. I'm going to go with 13.0 centimeters. And that is the distance between the foci of the 4th orbit, okay? For the last orbit, number 5, I'm actually going to do that live with you on Monday. So thank you so much for joining.